Bezo coming into this are front runner. A first place and a second place, I believe they had, and suddenly everything has
that's
gone
there it is.
down. That's Belveth 3.
Hi, I'm Garrix, a challenger player on EU West, and what you just saw was a game from one of my first tournaments. I've got improving to do still, so come along on this journey with me and let's get better at TFT together. Alright guys, it's time for another overview, and today we're looking at the Sylas Kingslayer comp, and of course we will be rolling for Sylas here, which will be our main carry and front line. And he of course likes HP items because his damage scales with HP and this hero augment of his as well. So at least one more Warmox is mandatory, and then just general tank items will do. So Gargoyles pretty good in general, Dragon's Scarf pretty good with all that HP. Let's see, Redemption or Sunfire as well, all those work. In the backline we will be playing Lucian, because he's also one cost we can roll for, and he likes blue buff and then any AP items. And then you can also roll for Blitzcrank if you hit a lot of them. And good admins would be HP stacking ones or maybe AP ones, I guess, could work, but you want HP for the Sylas. Those are the best ones at least. Another variation could be a Anima Squad version. If you hit a lot of these units or a good opener with Nasus, Sylas and Jinx, this could also work. Anima Squad is quite good because it scales even more HP for Sylas as well. And then your NG board could be something like this, maybe with Riftwalker, so you get even more Renegades. And of course, if you don't have a really good admin, you can throw out Blitzcrank and Camille. Or at least Blitzcrank can maybe play Aegis units or something like that. Alright guys, we're back with another video. So we started here a Giant's Belt with a Nasus. And yeah, if you saw the overview you already know we will be playing, well, my favorite comp actually, my favorite hero augment, Kingslayer. And that is also a reason actually that I love starting Giant's Belt, because it gives you the opportunity to play this comp, as well as it's just being very good in general for all comps. So it's a really safe option if you can hit it. Of course, the wet dream would be hitting both a Sylas on Carousel also and Belt, but yeah, that doesn't happen as often as just Belt spin on Carousel. So you pick up a glove and a bow here also, so that's not really optimal for this comp, as you don't really want AD items with your backline, as you usually play Lucian, right? But we actually play a little bit differently here from the standard variation, and sometimes it's gonna be like that because you won't hit the items you prefer, but we still manage to play quite well here. And also these AD components aren't really that bad because you can always play Jean later with your Renegades anyways. So we pick up a Sylas pair here, and yeah, we're hit with a 1-1-2 hero augment here, and none of these here really fit our board, so we roll. I see the Petricide chains here, and I'm really thinking about taking it because I have a Sylas pair. So a Sylas 2 quite early, and that augment is actually pretty good for some Anima Squad, but I don't really have any good components, AP components for those carries. Of course you could play Vayne as well, but yeah. But here I look up the stats and I see, yeah, it's not the best, but I'm so tempted, and when looking around I don't see it being really contested, and here I'm also instantly rewarded with a Blitzcrank pair as well as the Sylas 2 here. So I'm quite happy with my choice, because yeah, whenever I hit this I actually just pick it if I have a Giant's Belt at least. And Sylas is pretty rarely a contested unit nowadays, so it should be pretty easy to hit. And also this lobby being a 1-1-2, at least maybe there are some other rerollers, so getting some extra help by clearing up the odds at least. Here we fight a level 4 board and we actually win because we have quite a strong board actually, even though we are just level 3. And here interestingly we get offered underground, which I decide to play actually because it's quite early, so why not just stack it up? Just 3 gold really, because I'm just gonna econ up anyway and reroll later for this Sylas. Also, as you see, I don't pick up the orb there because if you keep it there, or if you pick it up, you will thin out the pool, champion pool. But by keeping it inside there of the orb, the Sylas there, you won't. It ignores the champion pool odds at least, so it helps you by keeping it for the last Sylas 2 when you are combining it to Sylas 3. If you didn't already know that. We take another win here. It doesn't really matter if we win or lose, but winning is fine because we start our streak here, which is never bad. I buy the KT2 here and slam this Last Whisper because I realize I'm quite strong actually. I have, well, the Sylas 2, the KT2 now, and also a Blitz 2 on bench, so I decide to play it a bit aggressively here because I think I can keep my streak. You could argue for double leveling here to put the Blitzcrank in. That would be really aggressive and would probably guarantee me the streak, but also you have to think about that you're playing a reroll comp actually, so you need to save up that gold, and also underground will give you some more gold later as well. Here we're playing a laser core board here. It's quite close, but we win this. So again, we are keeping that streak going, and we even hit 10 gold here. So we hit that first interest mark, which is very important. Now the first carousel here is a anvil with a component, and this is actually pretty good for us as with this anvil we can hit that extra giant's belt with quite good odds if it's not left at least, or otherwise we can also get some good tank components, and it being 2 components here we can slam an item as well, so that's quite nice for us because we are trying to keep that streak going here. So I get offered some tank items here or some AP items, and I choose the Chain Vester so I can make Gargoyles, as that's a quite good item for Sylas. And now we get another Sylas in the shop, and I also hold this Jinx for a potential animal swap in later. So yeah, we actually don't level here, again for saving up that gold and getting some better reroll odds, but actually pressing the level button once here would maybe be the correct play actually to keep that streak going. But I believe we actually win this anyways, yeah, as we're quite strong, and this lobby isn't really that strong, so we get this 4 streak quite freely, I would say. Hey, we get here a Israel Zona in the shop.
I'll make this look easy.
Now there is a chance we are playing the other streaker guy here, or we could play some of the weaker players, and when scouting here see that he's playing the Blitz grab, so I position for that so he doesn't hook my Kale. but I'm actually rewarded here for not leveling and playing it slowly and fight the weakest of the players in my pool. So again, we actually get a 5 streak here for free, which is something that doesn't happen that often actually. Doesn't really happen at all. It's often very contested. Especially 5 streaking at level 4 even. That happens very rarely. Alright, so we are now level 5, 30 gold, with the 4 or technically 5 Sylases if you count the orb. So we're in a really good position here. Some good items as well. Looking really in a really good position here. Here we get quite lucky again and get a golden orb, so a lot of gold here. Even more gold. And we also high roll even more and hit a giant's belt, which is of course really good for us here. Now this comp I wouldn't say it's you know, the best. It's a 1-cost reroll. But if you hit early enough and have a good setup, I would say it's a very solid top 3 at least. And also I just think it's really fun to play this comp. Again, it's my favorite comp. It has been since set 8. But yeah, this set 8.5 is not really as good. I don't think it's as good at least as it used to be, because it got nerfed a few patches ago when they rebalanced the hero augments, both by nerfing hero augments in general, but also making it so it's always your strongest copy or strongest unit, so it's not all Sylases or all I don't know, whatever unit it could be, which is actually a huge nerf for all those reroll comps, such as Poppy reroll. There you could have 2 Poppy 2s, which was really strong actually. Same with Renekton, for example. It was a really dominant 1-cost reroll before, but right now it's really bad actually. Not the same as it used to be. Right now we also picked up some more Anima Squad units. The thing is with the Anima Squad here is that it's quite late actually to play it, so actually not that good to play it, and I don't really have the AP items that would be used for Jinx, as she is quite good to roll along with Sylas. The odds at level 5 are quite good for 2 costs still, 33%. Here we face the Blitzcrank player, but we already lost our streak anyways, so yeah, we are really trying to streak this stage, as we're gonna be level 5 until we hit Sylas. But streaking stage 2 was a really good bonus for us, as we got a 5 streak and a lot of gold for free. Now we roll a bit more, looking for these Anima Squad units, and I hit a lot of Sylases here, a Riven pair, a Nasus 2. I only need 1 more Sylas here, as I have one in the orb, so I dig quite deep for this. I put in the admin to check it, and it is on kill HP, which is really good for Sylas here. Unfortunately we roll but don't hit the Sylas, but it's alright. We didn't go all in at least and missed, so it's fine. We have a lot of HP to work with, and we also have our underground stacking still, which is another source of econ for us. Alright, at this carousel we're looking at the Giant's Belt for another Warmogs, which is really good here. quite funny actually. We went from 100 HP down to 72 already in 3 fights, which hurts, but at least it made it possible for us to get a earlier carousel pick, which is great. Here we hit a misfortune, but it definitely is a bait at this time, as it is quite late for Anima Squad, to be honest. But I still pick up these jinxes, and we hit the final Sylas. And important here to pick up the orb and then buy the Sylas, as you can't pick up the board after the orb after your bench is full. So that's a really important thing to remember. Here I have some level for the admin, so I can start stacking that HP. And we're really strong right now. I also forgot to mention that we picked up a second wind as our second augment, which is also really good to heal up our Sylas after he has soaked a lot of damage. So yeah, we're looking really good now. Unfortunately 0 gold, but again we have that underground cooking in the background, so it's all good. One more round will give us our cash out, and yeah, we won't look for any more heists, as we can't afford to play these underground units for any more rounds, as we need to start to play a stronger board and start to streak and level up, as Sylas falls off quite a bit later. Also, a thing here to note is that we actually just have the Sylas and not any real backline, to be honest. Usually you would roll for that Lucian 3 as well, but well, I skipped all of the Lucians. I don't think there were that many Lucians in the shops, but also I don't have any items for him, so we played a bit more flexibly and ignored that. The plan right now is actually just to level and play for Jhin, because he can hold this Last Whisper instead, and he's also a renegade, so that has some nice synergy with our boy Sylas. Alright, we take another loss here, that's okay. We still have a lot of HP. Funnily enough, here we get lucky again, get another Giant's Belt for that double Warmogs, which is huge. Now our Sylas is quite thick. And we're looking really good here. Got some more money in our bank, so that's really great. Now we're just looking for some damage items for our carries, as Sylas is already stacked. So hopefully we get some good components here. A bit more gold, and we get a bow and a cloak, which is really good. I unfortunately sell that pike there, which is a mistake by me, as we are going to play for Rift Walkers, as I mentioned earlier, with the Jhin. But that's okay, he'll come back. I roll here a bit, and again, super high roll game. We hit that Jhin, and I immediately sell Kale, slam the Last Whisper, and make the Runa's Hurricane onto him. And yeah, the pike came back also, which is nice. And yeah, we're looking really good. We have this Jhin now, which is really good at 6, so we don't have to roll that deep. We only need that Vex. And we have a good admin with the scaling HP for our Sylas, and yeah, look at that damage. Jhin also did quite a bit of damage actually, just being a 1-star and 2 items. So we're looking really good in this position right now. Let's see the third and final augment here. What will it be? Admin Crest, Aximark, or Anima Squad? Again, Anima Squad is too late. There's no reason to pick that. Now I'm hovering this Aximark, as I'm thinking that it's quite a good combo with Sylas, right? As he does a lot of damage, and he gets quite a lot of the execute, so he'll just cast again and do even more damage. The admin could be a choice, as it's a good admin, and then I can swap at the Blitzcrank. But I decided to pick the Aximark. However, in hindsight, I don't think that was the correct play actually, the Aximark, as Sylas is the only benefiter from that really. Jhin doesn't have mana, so that augment doesn't work on him. And it's not really that effective on Sylas, to be honest, so I probably should have rerolled for something else, but it's not that bad. But in hindsight, it's definitely not the best play here, I believe. Yeah, again we rolled some when we hit another Jin after leveling, and a pack as well, so we need to pick up that, of course. A close fight here, Jinx casts, and Jin also casts for the kill. Good stuff, good stuff. Now we're still looking for that Vex for our Rift Walker, so we are rolling a bit more. Deciding what to do. We are setting the Anima squads, and there we go. The Vex and the Pike. We put in the sack here. Put him close to Jin for the Renegade. I'm hesitating on selling this Riven because it's a Riven 2 actually, and I decided that this is actually probably my strongest board, so better to put the sack next to, close to Vex there, but I actually make a misplay here and move Pike closest to the sack, giving us another hacker, which doesn't benefit our board at all. A tip with Rift Walkers to not mess up like I did there is to actually just put your sack next to your carry actually, as he would walk up anyways later. You could do that to make sure he doesn't get another trait when you are moving around to position. Looking at the carousel here, we are not last pick at least, but we are looking at that Jin for a Jin 2 maybe. He holds a cloak though, so not the optimal. The sword would have been really nice. Maybe the Lona even would have been nice, but that also got picked up. So in the end, what do I decide for? I decide for the bow, I believe. It's a hard choice. I think there's nothing that good here. They pick up another belt. My 5th belt, I actually do. Yep, I believe I save this maybe for a guard breaker probably. That's probably the thought process here. Now I move that Pike away, so I get the mascot bonus, which is quite nice for Sylas as well, as he has a lot of HP, so that regen will do quite a lot for him actually. With another Viego here and another Vex. Still a lot of pairs though, which is kind of sad, but what can you do about it? We have been high rolling quite a bit this game already, so can't really complain. We get hit here by the Blitzcrank hook, but it's alright, it's on our Vex and not our Jin, so it doesn't really matter. Slam the giant belt onto Riven there, as we are going to sell her later anyways. Our second win kicks in. Oh, Sylas with a big cast there as several units surrounded him. Yeah, close fight, but we actually win this one. There, the Axiom Arc got to really show its power as he killed multiple units with that cast and got to cast immediately again, dealing huge damage. So yeah, that's why I love this comp. You can play a beefy boy and still do quite a lot of damage scaling with that HP, so it's really satisfying. Just a really fun scaling, you know. But yeah, it's not really the best comp, to be honest, but I think it's really funny, and it can work at least in situations like this when you high roll, of course. But I would say it's actually, yeah, top. If you hit and have a decent board to back your Sylas up, it's a top 4, top 3 for sure. Hopefully we win this fight here, as we are looking at a 5 streak. If we do so, it looks like we are going to win. It's really close here. Sylas gets a final cast and that will be enough. We also make 10 gold here, so we get that interest, which is nice. Pike 2, really great. So hopefully here we pick up a glove or something like that for the guard breaker. Otherwise maybe a rod, so you could make Rillos would be fine and put that on Pike, as he's quite a good user of that item. Also Sunfire could work on him as well, as he dashes around. We get another giant spell. That is our, let's see, our 6th one this game, which is really funny. But yeah, we get a tier also, and we hit these sparring gloves here, so we get that guard breaker, and we also get a redemption, which is not bad at all to keep our front line sustained here. Someone else there hit Shen 3. I'm thinking about swapping out the Riven here, but I don't think our board is will be stronger with 5 Riftwalkers yet, as it's only a Jhin, one in the back line right now. Alright, we are fighting a Malphite and Raven 3 comp here. The second wing kicks in, healing all our units there, and we win quite easily. Something to notice here actually is that there's a player still streaking with 100 HP, which is quite insane. But yeah, I would say this lobby was quite weak in general actually. So that, you know, made it quite easy to play this comp without getting punished too hard. Yeah, right now we're just looking to level up, as we have quite a lot of HP to work with, so there's really no need to roll here for these pairs, even though we have, what is it, 3 pairs right now, the Vex, the Jhin and the Viego, but it's alright. The best player is to level, as we can consistently hit those upgrades the next level anyways. Just getting another unit in is also the safer play, as we can of course miss if we try to roll down here. Another close round here. Sylas gets a cast, another cast, but the Jhin finishes him off. Very close fight. I mentioned earlier that this Axiom Arc maybe wasn't the best pick, and yeah, as you saw there, maybe didn't do that much honestly, because Sylas already gets a lot of mana anyways, you know, when he's in the front line getting hit by the enemy team anyways. So maybe something like, should I roll maybe for something like a Renegade Crest, or maybe Celestial Blessing could work actually, and for some more healing as well, as she does quite a lot of damage, so that Celestial Blessing scales quite well with him. And Renegade unit in general, all the Renegade units, as they do a lot of damage with their trait. Here we faked that Shen 3 along with a Sivir 3 here with time and a half. Here again Sylas gets some good value as he is surrounded by multiple units there. Almost a perfect loss there. Samira barely survived, but again it's okay, we have quite a lot of HP to work with. Already 2 players here are dead, and yeah, you can see the bottom 2 other players right now are quite far off from the rest of us at the top 3 here. Definitely the first place player there with 90 HP, so we actually lost his streak, but yeah, he's really chilling right now with 90 HP. Now we decide to level here, putting that Alistar. Find a Fiddlesticks there, but we are not gonna play him as we won't fit him onto the board. Sell the Riven now. Keep rolling, hit that Vex 2. Now we change to the other side here with Zac to get the Renegade bonus instead. So we unlock 5 Renegades for a team. Here I decide to pick up the Six Herald, as I there wasn't really any other options, I guess, that were that good. So I picked that so we could empower our Sylas a bit more here. Unfortunately here we get hooked by that blitz, but we're fighting a brawler board here, so again Sylas gets surrounded and he gets quite a bit of value, which is cast. Another cast there, huge damage. And yeah, quite a convincing win for us right there. Not bad, even though our Jhin got hooked at the start. We hit that Viego 2 here, which is quite big actually. Still waiting for Jhin 2 though. If we hit Jhin 2, then we can save up again and go for 9 actually. Here I wanted Pike to get that Herald bonus actually, but if I do that, again Zac will target him instead. And I actually don't want to move the Zac from the first row, as then Pike will take aggro immediately, which is not optimal, as I want him to cast, if he can, 2 times, which would be great. But he might even not get his first cast off if he gets aggroed immediately. Here we face the last place player playing a Oxlinger with Annie 3 here, and that Annie is really tanky as we don't have any magic shred right now for our Sylas, and in backline we all have Jhin 1, so we can't get through at all, taking a 4 unit loss here. Another loss is fine, we still have a lot of HP. Another player died here. Another player, or the player we just fought, is at 4 HP, so it's probably a top 4 at least here, which is actually really what you're aiming for when playing this. So probably a guaranteed top 4 here, which is really nice. Maybe even top 3, as the 4th place guy right now is quite low as well. And now we have full items on our Viego and our Jhin already, so any just utility item here would do. With the Age of Night here, Morello, Protector's Vow, Soundfire or Runans, I decided to pick the Protector's Vow here for the immediate cast for our Pike, with a really good chop here, both Jhin and the Alistar. So now we can just chill and econ up for that level 9. Again, about the item pick, the Protector's Vow there, I believe it's good, but I probably should have picked the Morello actually, as I have no anti-heal, and as I mentioned earlier, Pike is quite a good holder of that item, so that would be really good for our team comp. But the Protector's Vow isn't bad. As you see here, he gets 2 casts off, which disrupts the enemy backline for quite a while here. Still though, we can't get through that severe, does too much damage, and we have too little damage right now. But again, it's alright. The last place player died here, so we get a top 4, really nice. Can't really ask for more actually right now. But let's see if we can go even further here. The player below us is also playing a Riftwalker, but just a regular Riftwalker board, not this Sylas variation here. The streaking player is playing that Laser Core. Oh no, excuse me, it's the streaking player is the one playing that silver board, right? The first place player is playing that Laser Core. Now we face the last place guy. We get a pretty good second win proc here, healing most of our frontline at least. Really close fight here, but Sylas casts, he gets onto the Jhin, another cast, and finishes him off. Really good for us. Now we're really set up for that 3rd place finish. I don't know what I'm doing, but we're back here in the game. First place player hit a Urgot 2. He hit another Warwick 2. He's actually 2 off Warwick 3, which is quite scary, but I can't really do anything about that right now, as we don't really have that much econ to work with. He actually is just 1 off right now. Really scary. He also hit Mordekaiser too, so he's really strong right now. That Warwick got onto our Jhin unfortunately here, but Sylas still quite healthy. Viego alive as well, gets another cast off. Sylas cast, another cast, one more cast, and he gets the win there, very close. Actually there it was the Aximorph diff, and yeah, we get a 3rd place here, really nice, as the other Reforka player died. Now I really wanted that magic shred there to put on Pike, because both our Viego and Sylas of course does AP damage, but I decided to just pick up another 6 for the heck of it, making our Sylas out attack a bit faster. I roll here to try to hit that Warwick, but if you noticed, both the Silver player and the Warwick player hit 3-star forecast here, so I know it's doomed already. I actually hadn't even noticed that the other person was rolling for Samira at all. I was just focused on the Warwick, but both of them hit here. So yeah, I knew I was doomed. But quite a spicy game. Nonetheless, a 3rd place with this Sylas comp, I'm really happy with it. It could have maybe been a 2nd actually, as you saw. I beat that Laser Corp board. Of course it was just barely, but yeah, now I can't beat him of course when he hit that Warwick 3. The Warwick 3 lost to Samira though, it seems. He's playing Future Sight there, so he has quite the advantage. He has 2 Zephyrs, so can get some good Zephyrs off and disrupt the Laser Corp board there. And now we face the Warwick player, and yeah, of course it's quite doomed. At least our Vex gets hooked, as we had precision for that. To be honest, it doesn't look that bad right now. Sylas is doing some good damage, 2nd wind procs, another cast, but this Warwick does too much damage and we're unfortunately knocked out here. Good game, yeah, but let's watch the rest of the game actually for the heck of it. It's 2 forecast 3 stars in the same game, so let's see who actually wins this. Is it the Infinity Team Sure Shot Samira here, or is it the Laser Corp Warwick? Both of them have basically the same HP. I'd say is that 3 losses, maybe 2 if it's really bad. So let's see how this goes. Just the PvE round here. Oh, he's actually sitting on 50 gold right now. He's really rich. He can maybe even roll for Mordekaiser actually. The other player is not that rich. Hit a Janna 2 though. Boosting up his front line there. He hit a 4th Mordekaiser. Still on 50 gold. Chilling. Yeah, there's plenty of time, so no need to roll it down right now. Puts a Warmox on that fiddle. Quite good synergy. More HP means more Laser Corp procs, as they proc when champions are out attacking or being hit as well. The Mordekaiser there and the Lee Sin get separate, so not the Warwick. Good ult from the Urgot there, basically hitting the whole team. Mordekaiser casts. Warwick gets CC though, and Sasu here takes a loss. Looking really good for the Samira player right now. He is rolling now for that possible Mordekaiser 3, but he doesn't really hit. He has 2 at least. Rolls more. Ezreal 3 there, Or I mean, no, not Ezreal 3, Ezreal 2 on the other side. Ezreal 3 would be crazy though. So he's even stronger right now. He lost last time, so let's see how it goes this time. Zephyr onto Ashe and Mordekaiser. Hook onto Pantheon, so it doesn't really matter. Orchid though loops around to the backline, really good positioning. Gets onto the Sivir, and lastly the Samira, and actually wins this time. So this is really close right now. Seems like anybody can take it home. Really comes down to positioning here. Still rolling for that Mordekaiser, but can't hit at all. So he isn't really getting any stronger right now, while the Sivir play actually also hit another upgrade, Garen 2. So let's see, last fight was really close. Will this fight be as close? Let's see. Where does the Zephyr lands? It lands on Fiddlesticks and Warwick actually this time. That's huge. Good Mordekaiser cast though. Ezreal cast. Samira is hitting the Warwick, but he dropped aggro with the Edge of Night. And somehow the board just gets the leader here. Was it the early Mordekaiser cast? I couldn't actually register, but yeah, now he's down to one life. And picks up the locket here. Good choice. Or the shroud, I should say. Sylas actually picks up the Mordekaiser here for that extra copy, but I think he's too far off right now. Amadeus here, I don't think he will get any stronger as he hit all those upgrades already. So again, it comes down to positioning. We know he can win these fights, but let's see. Makes a Last Whisper onto the Ashe and a Gunblade as well, just for that little bit of extra power. Swaps around here. Does the Zephyr hit? No, the Shroud hits though. Good Shroud. Mordekaiser cast, that's the important part. See, Ezreal cast, Janna cast. It's Warwick and Fiddlesticks against the world here. Samira drops aggro, but Warwick is too strong here, and Warwick 3 actually takes home the game. Yeah guys, that was a Sylas Kingslayer reroll. Just the third, but I think that's quite a good position to hit. Because yeah, obviously wasn't gonna win against either Samira 3 or Warwick 3. So for this specific lobby, very good. And we had quite the high roll early game, but I believe we executed quite well onto that. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.